how's it going? RedHannya here. Thank you for tuning in for another vintage toy review action figure thing. We're going to be looking at some of the first here. It's not a dinosaur review, it's not a Godzilla review, and it's not a Jurassic Park review. So, what is it? Well, we're going to be taking a look at some old, vintage 1995 and 1996 Star Wars Micro Machines. Dun 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 dun. Okay, you guys get it. My brother and I used to love Action Fleet when we were kids. Sadly, we only had one figure, so it was always him and I fighting over the one figure. This one you see here in front of us, Gold Leader. This was the only one we had way back when we were kids. It was my brother's, but I'd always want to use it, so him and I would fight over who was using it. But either way, not part of the story. I came across our old Gold Leader Y-Wing in the basement, and I showed my brother, like, hey, do you remember this? And he's like, oh yeah, Action Fleet. Action Fleets were the shit back in the day. They made, like, every ship from the original movies, 4, 5, and 6. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say 4, 5, and 6, I'm talking A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the fucking Jedi. The three awesome ones that I grew up with on VHS as a kid. So trying to feed my interest of what became of Galoob Toys all these years later, they were founded in 1957. Kenner was 1947, I believe, too, so like 10 years after Kenner. But Galoob Toys introduced Micro Machines to the world in 1987, and in 1999, Galoob was sold to...
No. That's not true. That's impossible!
Why? Make it stop. Make it fucking stop! Sorry about that little meltdown for a second there, ladies and gentlemen. That was me finding out that Galoob Toys and Kenner were both bought out by Hasbro. Cashbro. Assbro. Hasbro. Whatever. So before I get on to the review of Gold Leader, this is what the Star Wars Action Fleet Micro Machines looked like when you'd get them in a box. This is the Snowspeeder. This one's mine. I actually picked this up pretty recently. Got it pretty cheap too because the box isn't in the greatest condition. It's all bent and warped here on the plastic. So when I do review this one, I will be doing an unboxing, so stay tuned for that. But I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the box here. You got this cool window in the front showing you stuff. You got a window here on the side which lets you see through. It almost looks like the TIE Fighter window or the Millennium Falcon window. Ooh, look, a Toys R Us retail sticker for $9.99. And you got some details of the ship on the back. Whatever ship you bought, I'm sure you guys would know would be here on the back, and what minifigure pilots came with this. Here was like the whole first wave of them. Y-Wing, Starfighter, Gold Leader with R2 unit. Oh, look at all those. TIE Interceptor, Slave 1 with Boba Fett, A-Wing, Snowspeeder, Imperial Shuttle, the X-Wing, Invader's TIE Bomber. That's enough to make any kid's head explode, and they're all just so awesome. Each figure comes with a display stand. Really, really sweet. Look for exciting stuff by Galoob. Proof of purchase. 2 micro points. I'm sure those aren't even valid now. I remember seeing a lot of these, but back when I was a child, my brother and I only had Gold Leader. And I remember seeing all these other ones, and I was like, I want Slave 1, and I want that frickin' Snowspeeder. But, alas, as a child, I never got them. So without any dragging this out longer, let's actually start the review of Gold Leader Y-Wing. Little bit of a 360 here. Really, really awesome looking ship. Even if you don't use these or to play with them, they are just really awesome display pieces because they represent the ships in the movie extremely well. As I already stated, every ship comes with a display stand. Boop. You just pop in right there. Display stand, really cool. And you can hold the figures that it comes with in this spot if you don't want them in the ship. Star Wars, and let's look at that holograph in this. Action Fleet, badass. So he's Gold Leader. Now this Y-Wing, I'm not sure if it's actually what appeared, but this Y-Wing I'm pretty positive appeared in A New Hope as a part of the Death Star assault. But I don't think it made it.
I copy, Gold Leader. It came from behind.
So I don't think this guy made it through the Death Star assault, but there was Y-Wings, and for anyone that was wondering what this ship really is, it's basically a Rebel Alliance bomber ship. Strong armor for the ship, weak blasters, but a heavy payload, basically. Your typical bombing ship. The underneath side, 1996, Lucasfilms Limited. Louis Galoob Toys Incorporated is what LGI stands for. Star Wars Action Fleet. Look at all this design, and look at this too. This doesn't even matter. You got landing gear legs on the ship that you can pull out. So if you don't want it on the display stand, it can just sit on its landing gear legs. Really sweet. They just fold right back up in. Really cool. Just gonna take a second. Just look at this crazy design. Like, this is micro machines. I mean, yeah, there's screw holes, but they're on the underneath side. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screw holes on the underneath side. But really, who's gonna be looking at it from the underneath side? Everyone's gonna be looking at it from this side. And there is not a single screw hole on the top side of this ship. You have the R2 unit. I'm not sure what purpose this served, but this piece opens up, shows some more innards. I'm not really exactly sure. This side doesn't open, it's only this side, so it's weird. But it closes back in, snaps back in. These back pieces can pop off too. I'm not going to take them off because it's kind of pointless too, but these back pieces pop off. But my favorite part of this entire ship, the Y-Wing, is the cockpit here. The detail here is just awesome. You have all this weathering. You have this gold yellowish stripe here because it's gold leader. Articulation on this ship is pretty limited. The only really movable part other than the cockpit piece here opening up, you have this turret here on top that has 360 range of motion for some defense. And that's really about it besides this other piece opening up too. But cockpit piece opens, revealing our pilot inside, Gold Leader. He has a few gold stripes there on his helmet, you can see. Take him out, and you got some stickers here on the inside and a seat for the pilot to sit in. Nothing really on the stickers, just some lights and buttons, it looks like, for the pilot to be pressing. And his R2 unit droid here on the back can also come out. A little bit more annoying to pull this guy out. A little bit more annoying. There we go. Come out. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, you stick the R2 unit in this area and it holds him in place, but kind of a pain to get out sometimes. So extremely zoomed in here now. For people wondering for a size comparison here, here's a quarter. So the figure's about the size of a quarter, you could say. Detail isn't the greatest here. I'm trying to make it so it's focused so you can see it in the best possible quality, because this is like a really tiny figure. But he has his orange Rebel flight suit, 2 gold stripes on the helmet, black gloves, and black boots. Only articulation is both of the legs move together, upwards and back, like hoo hoo hoo, and both the arms move upwards and down at the same time. So it's like both the arms are connected and then both of the legs are connected when you move. So only 2 points of articulation here on this guy. But he does look cool. I always loved the Rebel orange flight suits they had in the movie. And his R2 droid here isn't really anything special. It's kind of just a red R2 unit with some blue here where his eyes kind of are. That's about it. No really articulation here on this thing either, so it's kind of just like an accessory that goes with him and can follow him around. Beep, beep, beep. Load him in the ship. The really cool thing about this display stand too is if you didn't want these guys in the ship, you could have them here on the display stand like so, and they'd stand there. But I think having them in the ship's cooler. Well, that pretty much about does it for a Gold Leader. This Gold Leader review. There's not much else to talk about this figure. Really cool though that they made all these ships. Like, you could have so much fun back in the day as a kid with all these. If you collected enough of them, you could basically have entire fleet of Rogue Squadron from like N64. Either way, I hope everyone enjoyed this review. Star Wars fans, if there is any Star Wars fans here on my channel. If not, then this is going to be awkward posting this video. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below and tell me if you have this Y-Wing Gold Leader, or if you have any Star Wars Micro Machines action fleet. And tell me what your opinion is. Do you think they're cool? For their time in the 90s, they were really kick-ass, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. I just wish, as a kid, I had more. so I could have had some epic space battles. Either way, tune in next weekend, guys. I will be reviewing more Star Wars Action Fleet stuff. That's going to be what's coming up here on the channel for the next couple weeks, actually. I'm going to be going through my brother and I's collection because he started collecting them and then he got me into it, so I bought some and we kind of have our own little collection going, him and I. So he's going to let me use some of the figures in reviews that I don't have. And yeah, so something to look forward to. RedHannya signing out for now, guys. Take care. It's hot as hell outside.